After leaving the career safety of New England and betting on himself in free agency, Tom Brady just won his 7th Super Bowl, adding the 7th ring to his infinity gauntlet of Super Bowl victories. No player in the history of football has been to or won as many Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs as Brady, and even in his age 43 season, he continued to one-up his unbelievable records. In order to commemorate the fact that Tom Brady now has as many Super Bowl victories as a week has days, it seemed fitting to address the question, how did Tom Brady become the Super Bowl king? Hello everybody, I'm Jack Smith from the Cold Hard Truth, where we bring you the cold hard truth on everything football. In this video, I'm going to dissect exactly how Tom Brady has dominated the NFL over his entire career and made it impossible to bet against his teams when playoff time rolls around. I will go over the Super Bowl storyline of Tom Brady's career, touch on the qualities that have allowed him to become the king of February football, and discuss what has made this recent Super Bowl run extra notable. If this interests you, please leave a like on the video and hit the subscribe button for more football content just like this one, and leave a comment letting me know what you think makes Tom Brady so great and why you think he has been able to dominate the NFL and win so many Super Bowls over his career. But without further ado, let's get into the video by going into the Super Bowl storyline of Tom Brady's career. Tom Brady's reign as Super Bowl king started in just his second year in the NFL, when he led the Patriots to a victory against the Kurt Warner-led Rams, also known as the greatest show on turf, in Super Bowl 36. Little did the world know, this was the first of many Super Bowls Tom Brady would win over the rest of his career. Just 2 years later, Brady and the Patriots were back in the Super Bowl and won in entertaining fashion at the end of the game against the Carolina Panthers. This matchup saw Brady bring home his first Super Bowl MVP of his career as he threw for over 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading a game-winning field goal drive at the end of regulation. The year right after that, in Super Bowl 39, Tom Terrific took down the Philadelphia Eagles, cementing the New England Patriots as an NFL dynasty. The first step of the new dynasty was surprisingly to struggle. Brady went 12 years without winning another Super Bowl, with 2 Super Bowl losses to Eli Manning and the New York Giants sprinkled in between. These losses were devastating for Brady, and it looked like the dynasty was foiled. But Tom used the defeats as fuel and motivation, and struck again in Super Bowl 49, beating the Seahawks 28-24. The game will always be remembered for the game-sealing Malcolm Butler interception at the goal line, but people forget that Brady tossed 4 touchdowns in that game and won his 3rd career Super Bowl MVP. Then, 2 years later, good old TB12 brought the Patriots back from being down 28-3 to a 34-28 victory against the Falcons in the biggest Super Bowl comeback of all time. This game is easily the defining moment of Brady's career and will go down as one of the best Super Bowls ever. Many saw this victory, though, as the crowning highest peak for Tom Brady, and people just assumed he would begin to decline. A thought that was aided heavily by his 3rd ever Super Bowl loss a year later. Brady was outdueled by Nick Foles in a deflating loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, and it seemed as if Brady was done. He was already easily a Hall of Famer with 5 rings and 4 Super Bowl MVPs, and everyone thought he wouldn't make it back. He quickly made them look like fools, though. Brady willed the Patriots back to the Super Bowl and did just enough to come away with his 6th victory in the big game with a win over the Rams. Then, less than a year ago, Brady elected to leave the Patriots in free agency, which was a surprising move to many. He flew out to Tampa Bay and, of course, won a Super Bowl with them too. As of today, Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, and in my opinion, the undebatable title of GOAT, or the greatest of all time. I know you're probably thinking, Jack, that's great and all, but I already knew about Tom Brady's accomplishments. I thought this video was about how he did it. And lucky enough for you, that's where we're headed right now. In my opinion, there are 3 main qualities that Tom Brady possesses that have allowed him to become the GOAT and the king of Super Bowls. The first quality I want to talk about is how he can be calm under pressure and how that allows him to be clutch in the most important situations. The lights are never too bright for Tom Brady, which is a very important thing because the lights never shine brighter than they do at the Super Bowl. Tom Brady is able to stay calm under pressure, and in these big important games, in these big situations, he's able to stay calm, keep his composure, and treat it like any normal game, which, we know it's not. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, but he's able to stay calm, and he's able to, play under pressure, which is something that you don't see from a lot of other quarterbacks. And obviously, if a quarterback has won 7 Super Bowls, he obviously knows something right. And Tom Brady's been able to stay calm under pressure. And that's one of the biggest reasons that he has become the Super Bowl king, like the title of this video says. Ever since he was a very young player in his 2nd and 4th years in the NFL, he was able to stay calm in the Super Bowl, keep his composure, and be clutch in big situations. This trait was most apparent in his first 2 Super Bowls, like I mentioned before, because he was able to lead 2 game-winning drives drives, game-winning field goal drives against great teams and older quarterbacks at the end of those games to win it for the Patriots, showing that he could be clutch from an early age, and that's something that's continued with him his entire career and allowed him to become the king of Super Bowls. The second quality that has enabled Brady to win as many Super Bowls as he has is his ability to rise above his position of quarterback and become almost a coach for every team that he plays for. Brady makes everyone around him better because he exudes an aura of confidence, and that instills into his teammates. He's able to coach them up because he knows a ton about NFL defenses and he's got a ton of experience in this league, but also he knows a lot about being disciplined and what it takes to win football games. And so he's able to instill that into his teammates with his experience, with what he knows about defenses, what he knows about football in general, and with all the coaches he's worked with, he's able to take everything he's learned over his career, and he's basically a coach for every team that he plays for. You know, every quarterback is a leader in some ways. Patrick Mahomes is a great leader. Russell Wilson's a great leader. Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, they're all leaders. Tom Brady is a coach. Tom Brady is a coach who plays the quarterback position for every team he plays for, and that is super valuable for wherever he is. The Super Bowl where this stood out the most, though, was in that 28-3 comeback versus the Atlanta Falcons, when Brady had to instill in that team the confidence that they would be able to come back from a deficit like that. A lot of other quarterbacks could have been leaders, and they could have tried to motivate the team, but Tom Brady was both a player and a coach. He's able to lead by example, but also tell the team exactly what's going to happen and exactly what they need to do. And he instilled that level of confidence in the Patriots, and they were able to come back and win maybe the best Super Bowl of all time and the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. The third and most important trait, though, that has turned Brady into the Super Bowl king is his ability to play to his strengths and play to his team's strengths. Tom Brady knows he does not have to go and blow up the stat sheet to win games. He also knows that every NFL team is different. Every offense he has played for each year is different, and he's able to adapt his play style every year and every game in order to do what it takes to win. He doesn't need to be flashy and put up a ton of stats and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He knows that sometimes all it takes is him throwing 1 touchdown and being safe with the football. He knows sometimes that all it takes is for him to check the ball down because that's what the defense is giving him. He knows his role, and he knows how to adapt that to whoever he is playing for at the time, whatever the offense is, and whatever the game situation is. He's able to change and play to his strengths and play to his team's strengths. And that's something that you don't see from a lot of quarterbacks because it's not they're not smart enough, but they're just not conscious of the fact that things change. I mean, Tom Brady realizes, he's played in the NFL for long enough. He realizes that things change from game to game, and the same thing isn't going to work every time. I mean, now that he's at the end of his career, he realizes he doesn't have the arm strength that he used to, so he knows that in order for them to be successful, he's just going to check the ball down and find the shorter routes. It's just, he realizes what he is, and he's so good at that. He knows he's super in tune with his body, and so he knows what he can take, he knows what he can put out, and he knows what the rest of the team can put out. I guarantee you, Tom Brady knows everything that you can know about every player he's ever played with, because that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of player he is. He knows exactly what they do, and he knows exactly what they do and what they need to do to win. And that is what makes Tom Brady so special. And I believe that is the main reason why he's been able to become the Super Bowl king over his career. The best example of this trait came just a couple days ago in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, because he realized that the defense was going to handle Patrick Mahomes, and he knew exactly how many points he had to go out and put up. He realized they just have to milk the clock, let the defense ravage Mahomes. When they get the ball back, they need to run the ball, they need to find the completions. He doesn't need to go deep to Mike Evans or Chris Godwin every play. He just needs to find the completions and run the clock out against Mahomes. Also, when he realized the Chiefs were having so many penalties, he's able to attack those holds. And, you know, a lot of those throws, people have to give credit to the quarterback for seeing the holds, because if it doesn't get thrown at, it's probably not going to be called. And Brady recognized that, and he throws at the holds. He also realizes he's going to motivate his team a little bit. And I know people might get upset for Brady by getting all snappy in Tyrann Mathieu's face. But that, if you listen to what the Buccaneers are saying, motivated the players so much, and that allowed Brady to rally the team around him. And he obviously knew what they needed to do to win. And look, they won a Super Bowl, and Brady's been really good at that over his career. No one can argue that. But these are the 3 main traits and why I believe Tom Brady has been able to become the Super Bowl king over his career. But let's get into exactly what makes this past Super Bowl I was just talking about super notable and especially important. This was a very, very important Super Bowl for Tom Brady because he disproved 2 things that people could think. People may have been thinking that a lot of the Super Bowls he won were a product of New England, of Bill Belichick, of what's going on in New England. And Tom Brady went out, he picked a team seemingly at random in free agency, said, Tampa Bay, let's go win a Super Bowl. And he did that, proving that a lot of the weight of where those New England Super Bowls came from, it has to go to Tom Brady now. And it disproves anyone thinking that it was all Bill Belichick and not any Brady. And so he disproved that. He also, I believe, made it so he solidified the GOAT position forever. I don't think anyone can catch up to Tom Brady. If anyone was going to do it, it was the career trajectory of Patrick Mahomes. But I don't think anyone can catch up to Tom Brady as the GOAT, because Tom Brady now has 7 rings and he's beaten Patrick Mahomes twice in the playoffs. And look, he could even go out and win another ring next year. But all I'm saying is I don't think that anyone can catch up to Tom Brady at this point to be the greatest of all time in the NFL. And I think this Super Bowl solidified that. But I actually want to know what you guys think of that part down in the comment section. Do you think that Tom Brady has solidified the GOAT status for his entire career and for the rest of the NFL? Is there a way that anyone catches him? I just don't see anyone getting to this many Super Bowl victories over this long of a time. And with that little amount of losses, 7-3 in the Super Bowl is remarkable. It's ridiculous. And I want to know down in the comment section what you guys think of that. And I want to see what you guys think of this entire video. Let me know anything down in the comment section about Tom Brady. You can even talk about Patrick Mahomes, who I just talked about, this playoffs, the Super Bowl run, the offseason. Leave a comment letting me know anything about football, and I will get back to you. I promise I'll respond to every comment, because I just want to have football conversations with you guys. And speaking of football conversations, if you like the content of this video and you want more content for the entire cold hard truth about the NFL, we have a recent podcast episode out that'll be down in the description and the pinned comment. We talked about the Super Bowl recap as a whole, and we touched on Carson Wentz and Sam Darnold trade rumors. It's a must-listen podcast episode that you could go check out in the description and the pinned comment. We have one of those every week. We have other videos on the channel about football. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button, and we'll get back to you with more content. You can follow our Instagram and our Twitter down in the description, and you can go subscribe to our website so you get notified when we post any form of content. That's the best way to get notified of when we post things. We post a website post for every single time we release something. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Leave a comment and a like and a subscribe, and I'll get back to you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.